Hello, everybody. I hope you can hear me okay. If you can, as you enter, just say, yes, I can hear you. The audio is great. I'm excited about this live because I'm going to be talking a little bit about success energy and not the program I'm starting, but more importantly, what is it that we need to embody as people, thank you, as people and as individuals so that we can have this success that we crave. And what is success? What does it look like? How do we achieve it? And what are the elements that are important so that we can achieve this success? Thank you, everybody. And for those of you saying that you can hear me, thank you. I've got my mic set up. I hope this is where you're hearing me from. Hi, Spencer. Hi, Nicholas. Nice to see you. And Natalie, nice to see you. All right. So, I want all of you to get involved. I thrive. Let me make this go down a little bit. I thrive when for everything. Just let me know whether you still hear me because I think I messed up. I literally just stepped back. So I don't have a chair yet in my setup. Damn it. Okay. Okay, can you guys hear me now? Okay. All right. I don't know where you're at. So say no, say yes one, and then I know that you can still hear me. Oh look, I'm only wearing one earring. Oh well. I'm gonna keep going. So I do really well when I get a lot of feedback from you, and you are. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. What I would like to know from you is how do you define success? Put that in the chat. What is success for you? What is one thing that needs to happen that will tell you that you are in a place of success? What is that for you? And I can share why you're thinking about this and why you're writing that. I can share a little bit about what that might look like for me. So for me, success isn't how much money I make. Success for me is in the impact that I have. And as a projector, my signature is success, which means that I feel success quite a lot when I'm accomplishing and completing what it is that I'm needing. So one of you said satisfaction. I wonder if you know what your design is, because satisfaction for me lends me to think that you're either a generator or a manifesting generator. So what is the satisfaction that you're getting from being in this success? Like, what is happening to your body? How is this manifesting for you? A lot of us think that if we make a certain amount of money, then success will be achieved. So we base it on money. But that is a fallacy. That is not true. Because you can have all the money in the world and still feel extremely unsuccessful. Quite often, what we're craving is the destination, but what is fun is the journey. It is the hard work that we put out and put down to achieve that the next level in our business, in our lives, or in our whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. So, if we consider success for a second, let's see what some of you have said. Financial stability, doing something useful and effective, happiness, and a lot of social interactions. A lot of social interactions. Spencer says, I wonder if you know me well enough to take a guess at my motivations. Well, I don't like it when people say that to me, because then I'm like, oh my gosh, flustered, and then black out. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. But judging from some of the answers you've had inside Client Generator, I could take a stab. So Ange says, or Angelique says, I don't know if you prefer Ange to Angelique, because I know that your handle is Ange, feeling joy and positivity internally. Zeta says meaningful words and beautiful smile. So success means so many different things to everybody else. Now I'm going to go into business mode for a second. When you're selling success, you're selling something generic. When you sell success, you sell something generic because it's not specific to one person. All of you here said different things. All of you here said different things, and it really it really matters to know exactly what your clients want and what you want so you can measure your success appropriately. And I'll tell you a story about the Winner Circle 2022, the cohort. Now it's not cohort led, but that was the first cohort that I did. And I thought I will do it like annually, but now I open and close the doors. I assumed that everybody in the last cohort who finished in December, when I asked them, like, oh, how was the Winner Circle for you? What is the success that you had? Very few people mentioned the financial success that they had, even though they had it. And some of them were fully booked like halfway through. So that wasn't the success that they used as a marker. And it probably would have been the success marker for them had they started the year that year. But their success was so different. They all talked about the confidence they felt. They talked about how they can go and continue doing the business that they love without the fears. That was success for them. Now, if I then go off and try to sell success to people, what does that mean? What is that? It looks so different to everybody. So, knowing and understanding your success, matching that to the success that your people want, your clients, be them other coaches, food places, hi Chewy, or other artists, other copywriters, whoever your clients are, whether e-commerce brands, I see some of you in here who work with that. If you don't focus your language, your messaging on the success of your clients, you're going to be missing out, because success means different things for everybody. But that's not the thing that I'm going to be talking about today. And I'll take any questions you've got. This is all falling down, giving a strange angle. Okay. So, what am I talking about? I'm talking about success energy. Quite often, we're doing all the things in business. We tick all the boxes. We're like, okay, I showed up on live. I've created my content. I'm doing X. I'm doing Y. I'm doing everything in the business that is needed, but I'm not converting, and I'm not making the sales. I'm not attracting the right clients. This happens not only to me, because I've been in business for a very long time to understand the different values that exist in business, but it happens to a lot of people and everybody else. Everybody. There's no person this doesn't happen to. And when this happens, you have to look internally. What is the energy that you're emitting from here within? How are you showing up? With what intentions are you putting yourself out there? So, for example, I didn't plan this live. Like when I go live, people are like, oh my gosh, I missed it. I didn't get the notification. And it's annoying for people. And I tend to have about 15 to 20 people, like around these people, average on this time of day on my lives. But if I would actually plan it and I'd be more mindful and let people know, I would have more people. But this is channeled. I'm like, oh, you know what? I have an idea. I want to talk about this to everybody so that they can get this. And then whoever can receive, they'll be receiving. So this intention is to just share. What intention are you showing up with? And are you even open to receiving? So a lot of you here I recognize. Let me just say hello to some of you. Let me go through. Hi Anna, I didn't see you come in. Hey Kevin. Hey Chewy, Seti, Dara. Quite a few of you are regulars here on the lives, and some of you are clients. Thank you for joining. The question that, oh hi Sid, I haven't seen you on a live before. Nice to see you here. Okay. The question is, when you tick all the boxes, and you're not getting the result that you want, which will put you in your specific success, what might be the thing missing? So a lot of you will go towards mindset. It's like, okay, the way you think, your mindset is setting you back. But I'm going to go a little bit further and say, it could be the mindset, but it could also be affecting the energy you're emitting, which everything is obviously connected. So it's not one or the other, but everything is connected. So if you think about like, what energy are you showing up with? What energy are you showing up with? What is it that you're wanting and desiring? What message are you putting out there non-verbally? Not the actual content, but what energy are you writing your content with? The intention matters. And a lot of people think it doesn't, but it does. The intention with which you do everything matters because it sets you up. Like, what is the alignment within you that aligns with others? What kind of energy are you emitting and therefore attracting something similar? Imagine, and I talked about this in one of the Winner Circle calls, like we are consistently emitting some form of energy, right? We're all physical beings, physical bodies. We're always going to be emitting something. And for those of you who are rational types who don't believe in this, well, this is science. There is some sort of energy emitting from all of us. Now, if there is someone in my sphere that I want to connect to, I need to be mindful of what signal I am sending out. And I'm going to share something with you, and the clients in here, they might get a little bit peeved, or they might not get a little bit peeved. But those people who are receptive to some of this energetic work, I see leaps and bounds. A lot of this is in my private coaching clients because I have more alone time with them where we go deeper, and we can even inside the Winner Circle. And the energetic shifts that are created, these are the ones that are going to cause these people to really leap to the next level. Clients of mine who haven't had inbound leads are having inbound leads from making zero changes. Their messaging has always been on point. Their content has always been great. And what do they shift? Their energy. And I know so many of you feel like this is just woo-woo bullshit. But think about it. If you're emitting some form of vibration from you, if that is calling out to a certain particular person that is needing that kind of energy, don't you think that kind of a connection will be made? So the bodies around you, let's think of planets, the bodies around you that are going to orbit around you and then draw the others in, that's going to be dependent on the type of energy that you emit. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of how you are. Be mindful of what you're thinking. So then involving the mindset. Be mindful of who you are spending your time with, because that energy is going to impact you too. Because you don't just emit, you also receive. And sometimes we are not okay receiving. Sometimes we think we are ready to have more clients, to have high-paying clients. And you may know this as imposter syndrome, but I'm talking about this on an energetic level, that you're not able to take this information in. You're not able to take a client in that is going to pay you $50,000 a year. If you're not ready to receive that, energetically you'll be closed off. And some of this work we can work on, whether that is in a private session or inside the Winner Circle. Hey, my Winner Circle people in here, we can go down this route, but you have to be open to it, and a lot of you aren't. And that's because I haven't spoken about it openly. So something that I'm doing right here, right now, is to show that I have another side of me which goes beyond the rational. Because this isn't the rational side. I see myself as a very, I think my friend posed it very well, actually, emotionally rational. So I have a lot of emotions, but I'm very aware of them, and I don't allow them to dictate what I do. But I process that emotion, and they can go haywire on me, but they're not the ones that dictate what I do. So I'm emotionally very rational. My emotions tell me a lot of information that I kind of tune into. And in human design, I am an emotional authority. So I listen to those emotions. They tell a story that is important to me and help me decision make. Let me just run through some of these questions. Okay, Anna, you and I will work more on this because this will be a tweak in you that is going to be absolutely amazing. So let's take that up on a hot seat. Quebra says, thank you. Hey Simon, nice to see you. Let's see. I felt like I saw a question. If I've missed a question that you're asking, hi Petter, then go ahead and oh, thank you, Chewy, for liking the new changes that I've been making. Oh, here's a question. How to say the client stop the project after get to times estimate? How to say the client? I don't understand your question. Nazli, you need to rephrase your question so that I can actually respond to it. My Indian mom taught me to be mindful about my energies even during cooking as it translates into food. Absolutely, it does. Think about it. When we make things with love, it it tastes different. It really does. Because with what energy, talking about energy, with what energy are you stirring that food? With what energy are you deciding on on how much salt and how much paprika and on whatever to put in the food? It does matter. Stand always in your power. Problem is to stay there when the shit hits the fan. Okay, so Simon raises a nice point. So we can stand in our power when we feel strong and we feel confident. But then when shit hits the fan, how do you stay in that zone of power? So like, you know what? I know myself. I know that I will stand my ground here and won't let myself waver. And I'll tell you what, if you think of a young tree will still be having some sort of roots, but it'll be easier for that young, thin, flimsy stemmed tree to get blown away by a hurricane or whatever, or some strong winds. But as time passes, those roots will go deeper and deeper into the ground. And in a way, when we talk about grounding in energy terms, so really kind of solidifying ourselves and what we think and how we believe in different things and what our opinions are, if we can ground ourselves and lay our roots and know how to become more aware of our thoughts, our actions, we're going to be in a better place to actually stand firm in our ground. And it's a lot about becoming aware, noticing how your body responds and how it reacts, and witnessing that. When we witness ourselves, we get to know ourselves, and then we can ground ourselves faster and root ourselves. And that is going to help you when shit hits the fan. And you have to be okay with shit hitting the fan and you getting uprooted. But the question is, how strong are your roots? Can you reroot? Because the more you see yourself, the more you witness yourself, the more you work on yourself, the better you're going to be able to root yourself and ground. Okay, let's have a look. Simon, I hope that satisfied some of that commentary. You said you're more rational when it comes to your emotions and how they dictate your actions. Can you go a bit deeper into this? Yeah, so I am an extremely emotional person, and I'll tell you something that happened. I'll tell you something that happened just yesterday. And for those of you who are inside Client Generator, you'll know how. Or actually, this isn't relevant. So let me think of an example that is much more relevant. Okay, I'll share this. It's a story about selling power and buying power. So bear with me. There are a couple of lessons in here, and I'll share them all. And I'm not watching the chat at the moment. So if you're asking questions, it's kind of static for me because I'm just at this one. Let me pin this one, and then I can go back. Okay. So we recently moved. My whole family moved from Stockholm to London. And we had a bit of a shit show when it came to the movers. They had quoted something and they had given us, I had photographed everything that needed moving, and everything was hunky-dory, everything was great. They were going to come on a day and everything was kind of fine. Here, let's do that. Everything was kind of fine. They arrive on the Monday, we're flying out on the Tuesday, but on the Monday they arrive and they're like, no, we can't take everything. I'm like, no, 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 you've got to take everything. We agreed on these things. I've already paid the deposit. I am going to pay you the remainder when you arrive. And they don't take everything. They don't take everything. So we make our move. On the Tuesday, we fly into London. On the Wednesday, the things arrive, and we also have a standoff. But that's for another story. We have a standoff because I'm like, I'm not paying in full for half the things being dropped off. One of the things that was not dropped off was a dining table plus the chairs. So now we moved on the 23rd of May, and it is the 1st or 2nd of June, and we still haven't had a dining table. Now, when it comes to eating, I don't want my son, who is 6 years old, to make a huge mess in the living room. So he's been eating off a kid's chair, which we managed to get, and a cardboard box as a table. It's not great. My husband and I have been looking for a dining table on the secondhand market because we want a circular we want to support the circular economy, and secondly, we don't really want to pay for something when we have something perfectly reasonable back in Sweden that we really enjoy. So we're like, okay, let's just get something. But we're not finding, dining tables are tough. They're so ugly. Like, there's so many that are so ugly, and the really nice ones are super expensive, and I don't want something ugly in the place. I don't mind shabby. I don't want it to be ugly. So I don't mind it being worn, stained, if it's natural wood, all that. I don't mind that. That shows age and it's got history. I don't mind that. But for a price, right? Depends on the price. So we're searching day and night for this dining table. And I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, oh, we don't have a dining table. I feel like we cannot make our home if we can't even dine as a family. Our son eats on his own in the dining room. We eat in the sofa because we're not going to make a mess. I don't like this. And finally, my husband, Darren, he finds a dining table and he's like, let's buy this. I'm like, great, I'll arrange the delivery. But what do they say? This is on day 4. And what do they say? No, you can't deliver. You can't just book and pick it up. We need you to see this in person. I'm like, oh my gosh, I am willing to pay for the convenience. Let's just get it collected because we don't have a car. So I'm like, let's just get it collected. We'll order a courier, we'll get it collected, we'll pay by bank transfer, everything's easy. But no, this woman doesn't allow us to do that. We have to go see it. But she can't show it to us for another 6 days. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is insane. So while we're waiting to go and see this table, we're still looking, because if we can find something else, something better, something faster, then we'll succeed, right? We'll get something better and faster. Brilliant. Monday comes, and my husband is the one who's been negotiating all of this. He's like, okay, we're going to go to Tulse Hill. I'm like, okay, fine, we'll go to Tulse Hill. That takes us about half an hour, 45 minutes. This is London, everything takes about half an hour, 45 minutes minimum. I'm like, okay, brilliant. We've done that. We also took the train, which is more expensive. And at this stage, I'm like, okay, so now you're making us take the train, which is more expensive than the tube. You are, you're making us come to you to look at it. And then what? We're just going to arrange the collection. So the table was £200 roughly. And we're walking up Tulse Hill. It's a hill. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this hill, I'm tired. I haven't slept well. We have been sleeping with, bed also arrived a little bit later. Then we didn't have the duvets because a lot of things didn't arrive as they should have. So everything was a little bit of a mess. So we haven't been sleeping really well. I'm like, oh my gosh, not this hill. I'm not going up and down this hill several times. I asked Darren, do you know where you're going? He's like, yeah, we don't have the exact address because this person was very cautious about giving everything out. We didn't have a phone number. We didn't have the exact address. We had a general place. And I had to messenger her to let her know when we were nearby. And my emotions, now we're getting to the emotions, right? I am pissed off. I'm like, you're making the whole family plus my little kid trek all over because we cannot leave. Our kid at home. Trek over, all over London, up this hill, which is difficult for my son because he's not a great walker. And you cannot even give us your address? So we walked a little bit on the wrong direction, which was annoying for me. Now my emotions are going crazy. I'm like, oh, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this table. I don't want to buy this table. That's what I'm feeling. Completely irrational and emotional, not enjoying this. We get to the street. It's a little close. We get to the close, which means it's a cul-de-sac. And I text. I'm like, what's the number? And I'm really annoyed at this stage. And then there was someone working outside in the garden. I'm like, why isn't she just like giving us a number? Can't we just like go and knock on the door? But we couldn't. So I'm emotionally completely drained, annoyed. We arrive, and you know what? This table looks a lot worse in real life. So maybe this is what you wanted us to see. It looks a lot worse in real life than it does. If it were me, I would start negotiating. But I'm so angry, to your point here, I'm so angry that I'm like, if I open my mouth, I'm most likely going to say like, I know myself, like I can go on fire and I can be mean and I can use whatever they're saying to my advantage and I can end up fighting, and I don't want that. So the rational me is like, feel the anger, feel it, feel the disappointment, feel duped, feel like, oh my gosh, what a waste of time this is. My time is worth money and I am spending it trying to find this stupid table, which is worth not even £60. When you guys see it, I'll show you. I'll show you on stories. It's not worth £60. I want to pay £60 for it. My husband does not negotiate. He's not one of those that will negotiate. And I'm like, you're the one who did the deal. I don't know what kind of rapport you've struck. I'm not getting involved because I will go into fire mode and I don't want that. So here I am listening to my emotions, but rationally I'm like, you know what? We need a table. I want my family to dine off a table. This is not such a bad table. It needs a bit of work, but it's not worth £200 plus whatever we're doing right now. Now the story doesn't end here. I start arranging collections. So I go into planning mode. I'm like, right, we're going to get this arranged. I start arranging collection. And to make a long story about this bit short, when it comes to pay, I'm like, okay, I would like to do a bank transfer because we're not carrying £200 in cash. She's like, no, I will only take cash. And I'm like, luckily I had some cash on me. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I've got £40 in cash. Can I pay you the rest on the day of collection? I can come back. My friends lived in the area. So I'm like, I can come back on the Friday, which is supposed to be today. So I should look out for the delivery if it's going to come any second now. How fun if it did actually come, then I could show it to you. I'm like, what if I come and give the money to you on the Friday? And she says no. She says no. She needs the cash now. I'm like, I have booked the van. I have paid for the van because it was one of those that you pay in advance. I've booked the van, paid for the van. You have 40 of my pounds and you have the table. There needs to be trust both ways. And she's like, no, she stood her ground. So from a sales perspective, this is her standing her ground. You guys need to stand your ground. It's her rules. It's like, take it or leave it. If you want it, it's the way I do things. So I'm like, okay, great. It's her rules. Fine. I would not, like, if I were the one who was negotiating from the start, I would not have accepted this. But I'm like, fine, my husband did it. I'm just going to give way. But here, Quebra, this is where I am a super emotional person, super pissed off, super angry. My emotions are going all over the place. My husband sees me. And I did say a few harsh things to this person. But this is where I rationally had to make a decision. Like, is it worth me losing this table, family time, or is it worth me to just simply understand that I am angry and let it go? Let those emotions go because they will not serve the outcome that I'm looking for. And this is where I am emotionally rational. That was a really, really long story to explain this point. Now, I see some laughters. I hope that you enjoyed this. And let me see what other questions you guys have got. So for those of you who are joining, we're talking about success energy. And like we've talked about energy, like how are you showing up in the world? How are you making connections, energetic connections that are actually going to service your success? But also, how are you going to, the story, if for those of you who just entered, I just answered a question, how can you become, how are you emotionally rational? And I just kind of had a really long story which showed how I am emotionally rational. We have a few questions here. Let me first go to the question box. Roy, are you inside Client Generator? I feel like sometimes I don't know if you are, because I know we've chatted. When's the right time to start monetizing on Instagram as a content creator? Immediately. Okay, I'll tell you a little secret. So I had 2 monetization deals on the table this year, which I've had more. I've said no to quite a few things, but there were 2 things I said yes to, and they said yes back, and then we ended up not moving forward afterwards because I was slow in signing the contract. So one thing to remember is that you want to make sure. Can this go down? There we go. One thing to remember is that that is so much better. Speed does matter in business, and it was as you know, I've been moving, and because I've been moving, I've just been slower in responding to certain things, and I think I took about a week and a half to look over a contract, and the timing just moved. If I would have signed it, they would have been obliged to continue with me. So, and just to note, I went openly as myself on Instagram since 2019. So that's taken me a long time to actually monetize. So I don't monetize my content. I don't get sponsored to do certain things, but I'm very niche and have quite a mixed audience. But I'll tell you my friends who are micro influencers and they're monetizing like crazy. So they have maybe 3,000 to 4,000 followers, and they were monetizing even before they hit 3,000 followers. Super high engagement. They're local, so they're really focusing on the local market and capitalizing on that. So, and if you guys follow me on stories, you'll know who they are. So actually, everyone, when I was at the Hindu in Malmö, all those people were like micro influencers. I probably had the most following from all of them, but they were more famous than I. So, they are monetizing, they are known. People stop them in the streets in Malmö and they're like, oh my gosh, I listened to your podcast, or oh my gosh, I follow you on Instagram and something has really helped me. So, what is the right time to start? Immediately. You can monetize your Instagram as a content creator at any point. You do not need to reach a certain limit. Okay, let's see. Thank you, Simon. I'll see you soon. Let's see. I won't forget to share. YSF, what's your name? I won't forget to share the table on Instagram. Let's see. Okay, so I would like you guys to rate my story from 0 to 10. 10 being captivating, interesting, and 0 like not so great, you need to work on it, because I'm actively trying to improve my storytelling. Storytelling for me is really hard. It's one of the things that I've spoken to Chris Doe about most, because I'm like, I find that people are not interested in the stories that I tell, and they fade out. So give me your honest opinion. Don't feed my ego. Give me your honest opinion from a 0 to 10. Where would you rate that story that you just heard? I would really appreciate that, because it would tell me where it would give me you guys are the best judge, right? It would tell me more about where I am on storytelling. And if you want to give any feedback, like I'm not asking you to how to fix it unless you're storytellers. So I only want feedback from people who teach storytelling. But you can give me your opinion on what was interesting and what is not. So just being very clear on the kind of feedback that I'm looking for. And I actually shared the story on purpose, because I'm like, okay, if I'm going to be speaking on stages, and if I'm going to start embedding more storytelling in my speaking, how can I do this? Can I engage an audience? Can't I engage an audience? Let's take this. I haven't looked at the chat yet, so you guys give your numbers, think about it, and then I'm appreciative of your feedback. How can I offer encouragement to a client who has received 2 estimates but hasn't provided? I can't read the rest. Why can't I? Hasn't provided Let me go back. A response. Okay. Here's the hottest tip. Whenever you are providing an estimate or a quote, do so in person, because you can then work with the hesitation almost immediately. So that's the best thing to do. So instead of saying like, hey, I'll send you the price over the email, or I'll send you the costing over the email, just like, okay, I'm ready to send it to you, but I want to talk it over. Why don't we hop on a call? Hop on a call, show them what they're going to do. Don't waste their time. Get straight to it, and show what they're going to get, and show them what the price is going to be, and then you can look to them and find out, okay, what is it? Where are we at? Are they interested? Are they not interested? That's going to be the best option. But if you haven't, you just have to keep following up, keep following up, keep following up. I have made deals with people who pay me 24K, 18K, 24K, 16K by just following up. That's where the money is at, in the follow-up. So keep asking them. Just going through the questions. How to get international clients. I'll get to that. Can you put that in the question box, please? And you know what? If you give me loads of hearts, the algorithm likes it. So please give me loads of hearts. And then it pushes it out to more people. How to encourage clients after 2 years. Okay, we did that one. My family's coming home soon. Okay, this might not resonate with everyone, but chakra meditations have helped me gain some stability in my emotions. And can I also recommend somebody? It's actually a client of mine. He's absolutely fabulous. If anyone's interested, ask me about my meditation client, or my guru client, and I will send you his profile. But he's called CB Meditates. Let me just close the door because my son is, oops, too many wires here. 2 seconds, guys. Hey guys, I'm on a live, so if you guys can be quiet. All right. My son, here we go. Okay. So with the chakra meditation, if you're thinking about that, he does hold a lot of meditations, and he's got something that's running right now, which is it's called Conscious Meditation, and it's a program that he has released, and it's kind of because I get to see the insides, like behind the scenes of it, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm like, oh, can I join? But I always wonder, like, how is it to reverse the roles? Basically, it's going deeper into meditation and consciously being intentional, and using mantras and other. I don't want to go into the lingo of it all, but he also deals with chakras and has meditations for that. So I would highly recommend him in particular. Okay, let's see. I've stepped away from a toxic client which has drained me for a year. How do you get my energy back? Oh, Andrew, are you still here? Say yes if you are. I'll check actually. Oh, yes, you are. Okay, cool. I've stepped away from a toxic client which has drained me for a year. Is this the one that I know about? How do you get my energy back up to attract a more suitable large client? Okay. Okay, let's see. Now I can see 7. This was a bit long. It was a bit long. 10, really liked it. 7, 10. Okay, cool. And let me look at these numbers here so I can review this. Right time was yesterday and the second best time is today. What is this? Shreya says 10, Leslie 7, YSF said 10, Joshua 7.5, 9 probably could have been a little shorter. I agree. I was thinking this was really long. This is my problem. I go into too many details. 7 and 6.5. It almost followed Hero's Journey format. Okay, so naturally I did that. 7, you're like me, like telling all the details. Yes. Okay, Ange. Okay, let's get to you, Ange. I always say Angelique. I never like in the French way. What was the question? The toxic client. If I had a toxic client and I would want to remove that, I think the first step is to remove that energy, because we, like I said, we emit energy. We also receive energy. And if you have a toxic client, that has been in your sphere, you have been receiving a lot of that energy. And if that's the case, we need to remove that first. That's step one. And I would do that. There are two ways that I would do that I can recommend for you. The first one is just a cleansing meditation, some sort of meditation. You can Google YouTube toxic energy release or something, and use that kind of meditation to just kind of let that go. You can even Google toxic client something, and not Google, but on YouTube. So that's one way. The other way is a visualization, where when you're having your next shower, you, as you're cleaning yourself, you also cleanse your body energetically, and you visualize all of that negative energy washing off you, through you, and down into the water, and that water literally going down the plug hole. And you want to visualize that whole thing so that that toxic energy is released from you and goes down the drain, literally. So those are the two ways that I would then first release that energy. And then you want to open yourself up to receiving the big clients. And I'll share what my coach did with me. And I'm starting with her again. So I had a gap where I didn't have a coach for a while because I was reinvesting my money in personnel. And then I'm going to be with her for another 2 months because I feel like I want to reset some energy. And, you know, it's great to have someone who is like in your back corner at all times. So I'll be with her throughout the summer, which is exciting. And I really sense, like, just after I made the investment, I feel the shift in me. And I know that my clients, there are certain clients who have said the same, like, oh, the moment I made the investment, so suddenly there was a release. I'm like, great. All right. And then, so what my coach did with me, and I shared this yesterday with a private client of mine, and is also a visualization that you can do with yourself, where you are expanding your heart chakra. So imagine your heart and imagine it opening up and expanding into its fullness, and you keep imagining it growing and growing and growing, and it's open. So like it slivers open, and then now your chakra, your heart chakra is open. And then you imagine the kind of clients that are specifically meant for you. And there's so many of them. But the ones that you want to work with, they light up. And for me, they light up like fireflies in the night. So whatever vision that you have, go with that. They light up, and there is a sea of people that you can work with. The stupid clients, the silly clients, the hell clients, but then they're your clients. The ones that you want to work with, that have great energy, that have great money, that have great projects. They're creative, and they're team players. They want to partner with you. We can do this, Ange. We can do a meditation like this. I just have to set it up. Maybe I'll do one and record one, and you guys can tap into it. Maybe I'll do that. Now imagine these clients of yours light up, and one by one, they enter your heart chakra, but your heart's filling up. And remember how I said that you might not feel ready to receive? This is where you want to practice receiving more. How many can you fill? Like your heart can expand and actually hold more. How many more can you allow in? So when I had, so we all have limitations, right? We all have thoughts that limit us, limiting beliefs. And one of them was like, can I even handle having 20 people in a group? Not that am I capable of delivering value. No. Can I energetically handle it? I'm like, I get exhausted. So that's something that I had to work on. I'm like, okay, I can. Of course I can. I can 20 people or 50 people or 100 people is the same. So that was one of the meditations that I worked with, to open up that space so that I can invite in people. And I kid you not, and when I did this meditation, Sean signed. He paid in full. Who the first is always the one that you remember. So Sean was the first to pay in full. And then I can't remember, but I had two or three others who signed up pretty much immediately after, who said yes. Because I'm energetically opening myself up to receiving my people who want to work with me. And that's how the energetics work. When you're not ready to receive, of course you're going to be closed off. You know, and I'll share something. I've been really busy all of this time. I said to Joe, I don't even know. I'm like, don't take on more people. I can't handle, because every time someone joins the winner circle, it's a private session with me. And then the group coaching is not a problem, but it's a private session with me, which is 90 minutes long. I said to Joe, who is my sales and marketing manager, I'm like, I can't handle it. I have so much going on in my life. I haven't found a home. We're doing an international move. I can't handle it. I closed off, and we didn't sign people because I didn't want people. So energetically, I'm like, no, I'm not open to it. And that is exactly what manifested. But now, as my heart opens up and I'm ready to receive more clients, and I know that June is going to be a fucking awesome month for me, that's exciting. And like, I am now in a place, almost, there's still packing to unpack. There's still like the mess you do not see, and the dining table that hasn't arrived. All of that energetically opens me up right now to receiving more clients. Sid says, please do a recording of this visualization. I need to listen to it every day like a ritual. This is super valuable. I'll try this out more. Anna, all of these things, I feel such resistance from you on this level that I don't go down that route. So ask me inside WhatsApp and I will go down this route with you, because this is where a lot of the magic shifts happen. And there's sometimes I ask people I do somatic coaching, and it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to do a bit of somatic coaching because it's new and it's different. I ask people to sink into themselves and to their body and feel, and we speak to the feeling. We speak to that feeling in there to see what it is that they're experiencing and what that part of you is needing. And I have an ability. So as a projector, I can laser focus into an aura, and all projectors can. And I can pierce through and see and feel. And when I do that kind of coaching, it can have a profound impact, but it's also a lot for me. So when I sense that resistance, I don't go that deep, but we can. This is that magical balance. Like, you get the strategy, you get the consulting, you get the coaching, and then you get the energetics. When we put all of that together, we have a really beautiful kind of, I want to say symbiosis. That's kind of the word that comes to mind. Anyhow, how do you know you're ready to receive the abundance? Really good questions. The fact you're asking it means that you're not. That would be my assumption. That's exactly what came up for me right now. How do you know that you're ready to receive the abundance? You will know. Because you are the biggest obstacle for yourself. Because nobody else decides whether you're ready to receive it or not except for you. If you're ready to receive it, you will open up for it. And when you say abundance, what does that mean for you? What is it that you're looking for? Is it money? Is it success? Is it good fortune? Is it people? Is it love? Is it unconditional love? What is abundance? Abundance can mean many different things. There are not a lot of you on at the moment, but I will say this. When we meet in person, I hope all of you who are inside the winner circle will come and come to the retreat, the business retreat, because we'll be able to connect within, like we'll be able to actually meet and be in person. And the energetic work that we can do in person is so much more profound than what we can do and that I feel that I can do on Zoom. Client offered me an employment instead of contract. I'm not sure how to respond to them as a lifestyle change for me. Wow, so Sid. The client offered you an employment instead of contract. The offer is too tempting. What is it that you really want? What are you tempted by? I'm going to give you some reflection questions you can reflect on. What is it that you're tempted by? And what are you asking? Are you wondering what it is that you're supposed to do? You know what to do. The answer is within you. And if we were coaching inside the Winner Circle or any coaching program, then we'd be able to dive a little bit deeper to figure out what that would mean for you. And what is it that's tempting you? What do you have to give up? If you say yes to this, what are you saying no to? What do you value most? What do you value most? I want the brand on my portfolio. Okay. And have you asked them why they haven't given you the contract over the, why are they giving you the employment over the contract? Because you, just like the seller of the table, if you were here, you can stand your ground and say, like, this is not how I work. And you can pay me my contract fees. And you can contract me over and over again. Let's have a look. Okay. My energy has gone a little bit low. Tired. It's the end of my day. I came on board. I lose freedom to work with other high quality clients. Yeah. So what is your answer to them? How much is that freedom of value to you? And why do they want that exclusivity? These are the kind of questions. So I'm going to head, guys. It's been lovely. This has been a really good. Being so open about this side is a little bit outside my comfort zone. You're going to see more of this on the feed. There are hints of it already. And oh, Mark, nice to see you. Mark is brilliant. All my clients are brilliant. I'm so fortunate. I cannot tell you. The kind of people that I end up working with, the kind of people I attract, I love them all. Like, they're so, so great. So I feel so blessed every day. Like, how cool that I get to work with these amazing individuals every day. Like, that's amazing. I want more of that. How many of you can say that? This is what I call in. Okay, on that wonderful note, bye everybody. Have a beautiful weekend and chat in the DMs.